There is an urgent need to guard our children from sexual abuse. Please help us to protect children who cannot protect themselves. This is a great opportunity to literally save lives. Please join with us now.
We're here today with author Vicki Abelson to discuss not only her book, Don't Jump, but how she's been able to literally take the jump to not only be a published author, but also to encourage other people to go for their goals and dreams. Vicki, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus. I'm a big fan.
Well, look, I appreciate that and definitely want to thank our mutual friend, Anne-Marie of Get Red PR, for setting up this conversation with us today while I'm in Los Angeles. You know, Vicki, I remember we were just talking about, I spoke to you literally when the book just came out. And it has been amazing to watch online, to watch the journey. But what has it been like for you to be at these events, to be able to see the response and to see all the love that people have for this book that you've been able to pour so much into?
You know, Cyrus, it's been literally beyond my imaginings. I wrote, it took me 13 years to write my book, and I workshopped it at my literary salon for years after that. And, I got some really lovely feedback from the editors that read it and the women who would hear little chapters here and there. I post some videos on YouTube. But to have people that I really love and respect read it through in a day, in 2 days, to have the response, to be on your best of 2015 list was amazing. San Diego Book Review picked 5 books best of 2015, and it made that. And it's just, the response has been literally, if I would have sat down and, written the reviews that I've gotten, they wouldn't have been as good as what I got.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty good imagination. So, it's just, there was a point years ago when I first read it out loud in front of a few local mommies when I started my salon. And this one woman said, I like the way you read, but I don't know why anybody would want to read this book.
Wow.
And I almost took it and threw it in the bottom of a drawer. And thank God I didn't. But, I was so beaten. And along the way, I knew I didn't know. I thought So to be so validated, to have it be validated, to have it resonate with people, that's the best. People relate to it, and that's the best.
Yeah. I think, as a guy reading the book, and I definitely say to people all the time, so many times books unfortunately get labeled, well, this is a book for the ladies, this is a book that guys can read. This is a book that people will, I think, get, because it is a book not only about the journey of being yourself and being comfortable with that, but I think also love, relationships, all those things that so many of us deal with. Do you think that's been part of the common connection that people have felt, that these are all issues that we all know too well?
I think so. Andy is an addict. She's a love addict. She's a food addict. She's a marijuana addict. She's got a lot of things going on, and I think everybody sort of has those issues in life of some sort or other. Everybody's got something that pulls them, that drives them.
Right.
And for many of us, it's love. And I think her relationship with her mom, her relationship with members of the opposite sex, with her friends, with her children, I think that's stuff that's universal, the struggles.
Yeah. The title itself to me is so great, and from beginning to end I kept referring to that title of what does Don't Jump mean? What does that mean?
I thought you meant the subtitle.
Okay.
We won't go there.
Right.
The title, it's interesting because I had a few titles for the book along the way. The first title was Open Book because I felt that it sort of said, well, the book, Andy's an open book, and also it's sort of a declarative sentence, open book,
Right.
And so that was what I worked with at the beginning. And then very shortly after that, I renamed it, Why is Julia Roberts Living My Life? And I really loved that title, and I kept that quiet and didn't tell anybody because it was so stealable.
Yeah.
But then so my working title became Don't Jump. And it was because a friend of mine had written me an email, and Entity said I was going through some sort of crisis. And he sent me this little sentence, and it said, when a door closes, a window opens, don't jump.
Yeah.
And I love that. And so it started out, that was the whole title. I thought, that's too long.
Right.
But the Don't Jump is really about, it works on so many levels.
Right.
It's take a moment and think. Take a pause before you, addict Andy, go jump into a relationship, go jump into a new career, go jump into anything. But it's also don't jump to conclusions. It's a lot of things to a lot of people.
Sure.
Don't jump out the window. Wait. Know that things are going to get better. That there's an upside to everything. That everything is temporary, and that whatever seems desperate right now will turn around.
Yeah.
So, it's all of those things.
Yeah. We have to talk about the people, Vicki, the people who have come out to meet you, who have been able to support this book, not only in person, but also online. I mean, you mentioned about the reviews, but I mean, just to have that physical presence in front of you. I mean, what does that feel like to have someone not only getting a book with your name on it, with your story inside of it, but what that really means about them supporting you and loving what you've been able to do?
One of the greatest moments of that was last Thursday. I did my first solo reading at Book Soup in LA, which is like the premier independent bookstore in Los Angeles, and it's been around forever. And our mutual friend Anne-Marie, my publicist, told me that only a couple of her clients have actually been invited to read there of all the people she's represented, and that it's like a really big thing to get that.
Sure. And
so to get that was unbelievable, but then to show up on a night when Obama was in town and traffic was a nightmare, it was packed, standing room only, and just so many people came out and were just so lovely, and people who already had the book bought more books for other people, and they listened. Like, I could see the acceptance, the love, the support on their faces, and the words have been magnificent. And the people that have supported me publicly, many of my heroes. Rob Morrow showed up for me and opened up for me that day. It's been amazing.
Yeah. I think there's a big message here, Vicki, for our viewers out there, no matter where they may live and what their hope is. Maybe it's not writing a book for them, but whatever it is, the importance of not giving up. You mentioned that comment someone gave you, about they don't know why anyone would want to read this. So there's so many people who are either being told that or they're telling themselves that about whatever it is they want to do. What do you tell them about taking the leap? Because you've been able to encourage and to nurture others in their own journey of being able to write and to appreciate the power of words. What do you tell people about the importance of not listening to that voice and going forward?
Cyrus, if I stopped every time a wall came up, I can't even imagine what my life would be like now. I wouldn't have children. I would not have a book. I wouldn't have a literary salon. Just about everything that I've accomplished in my life has been in spite of the obstacles. I can't tell you how many people tried to block, maybe not even block it as much as there were walls. I had so many people along the way that offered to help, and I would buy into that help, and then they would disappear. Publishers, agents, managers, all kinds of people came and went over the 13 years for various reasons. And I know that nothing is personal, and I don't take it that way. But if I would have stopped, I wouldn't have gotten here. And I just know, I believe that the things that we are unwilling to let go of, the things that we pursue to the end, I believe that's our destiny.
Right.
And getting this book out was definitely a part of mine, a big part of mine.
Yeah, what a great thing. And what you're showing people just by living your life, Vicki, I love the life that you live, in that you show people that every day is important, to make the most of each and every day. And I think that's one of the things that the characters in the book Don't Jump realize. It's definitely one of the things that you're living, and it's a great reminder for all of us. Again, everyone, Vicki Abelson is our guest for the segment here in Los Angeles for Cyrus Webb Presents. So excited to be able to have her with us. Don't Jump is the title of her book. You know, one of the questions I've been asking people, Vicki, as we close, is about the what's next. I have been trying very hard, not always successfully, but to live in the present and to enjoy the moment. But my mind is always turning. It's always thinking about the next thing. Have you thought about that for yourself? What is that next thing for you?
I'm glad I was just saying on the way over here in the car, I was on the phone with a girlfriend, and she said, so what are you going to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I trust Cyrus. He's always, he is very prepared, and I trust that I can be in the moment. So being in the moment is really important for me, and I try not to plan, because I know that life can change on a dime, and everything can change. But I also know it's important to have goals and to have an idea. So my manager and I are waiting at this very moment to hear back from our first pitch meeting that we had last week. He is determined. He says it's not a question of if, it's when and who. Don't Jump will be on your TV screens, episodic television. And the next book is already in the works, and that's going to be Sex and the Sober Girl. And hopefully that'll be a TV show as well. And those are the big plans. Those are the big plans.
Definitely a lot for us to look forward to from someone who always has something great going on. Vicki, again, thank you so much for the time. How can our viewers stay connected with you and keep up what's coming up next for you?
Thank you for asking. Please come on my Facebook. The friend thing is crazy, but now they have followers. So it's VickiAbelson, Vicki Abelson at Facebook. My Twitter is Vicki Abelson at Twitter. My website is VickiAbelson.com. I make it really easy to find me.
Right.
So come find me. I would love to connect.
All right. Well, Vicki, thank you so much for being a part of this visit to Los Angeles, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thanks so much for having me. Buy the book.
All right, buy the book. Don't Jump in stores.
Amazon. No,
exactly.
On Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay, so make sure you guys head over to Amazon, our friends. So definitely make sure you guys do that. Again, thank you so much, Vicki, for that.
Thanks, Cyrus.